Literally 10 days ago, I did a video on Action Taimanin going on to state how much I enjoyed that game, how entertaining it was for me, how it seemed like a fairly high quality experience. This was just a mere 10 days ago. And then the studio behind the game make me look like an idiot after pulling something like this. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of the absolute chads and chadettes that support this channel via Patreon. You're all freaking legends. Seriously, each and every single one of you. I would offer to give each of you a kiss, but I suffer from severe intimacy issues. Additionally, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest MMO gacha and gaming news, take a second here to follow Mrs. Stix and I over on Twitter. We tweet daily. Action Taimanin pulled one of the foulest moves that I've seen in a gacha for the game's 2-year anniversary. Now, for a little bit of context here, the Action Taimanin devs were holding a poll with voting open on who they should introduce into the game next. For those of you that have watched the Anrose anime, then you might have been expecting her. I personally was. I enjoyed the Anrose anime, and being able to unlock and play as her in the game. And wow, that is perfect timing for the alarm to go off on my phone. Thank you for reminding me that I need to take the trash out. Being able to play as Anrose in the game is something that I never thought I would have the opportunity to actually experience. And it turns out that I probably never will. Now, the thread goes on to state, the latest character, Anrose, Gregory Games have added paid-only characters to the game and tried to sneak them in with the anniversary update to avoid any backlash. For reference, all characters released so far have had a 2-week period where they have been available as part of paid packages, and then they're made available for all players for 1,200 gems. Now, I actually touched on this in my video. I showcased the waifus that were available at the time. All of these waifus cost 1,200 gems in-game. You can then unlock them and then play as them. This is very fair. This is honestly one of the more fair systems out there, I feel. Now it goes on to continue. Being able to grind for characters and cosmetics is the main way to keep free-to-play players engaged in Action Taimanin, and it really is. The support gacha is pretty pricey, and outside of new event missions, leveling up characters is another way to get free gems. It's one of the reasons that I play this more than Punishing Great Raven or Honkai, since characters being tied to gacha in those games is absolute pain, which is something we can all relate to. Although admittedly, Punishing Great Raven is also pretty fair with their rates and their pity. However, and this is where things get juicy, Anrose is now available as part of a $59.99 package only, and it remains to be seen if this package is permanently available or a temporary one for the event. The character was the winner of the second popularity poll and was hyped for months without any mention that she was going to be available only with real money. Players are voicing their discontent on social media with a couple different links to it, but sadly for a small gacha like Action Taimanin, I don't know how much noise we can make. Therefore, I wanted to make this post to warn others and hopefully get Gremory to reverse this awful decision. Now, there are plenty of negative comments in this thread. Wow guys, you want this character that badly, huh? Alright, pay up. It's the anniversary for the devs. Time to pay. I even replayed Steel Witch Anrose's visual novel in preparation for her release just to have my dream and anticipation crushed. Huge punch in the gut. If they don't reverse this, I'm a quit. They're digging their own grave. Left a while ago, this game is condemned by their own devs. Anrose is the only character that has been stated to only be available through paid packs in the update post and on the packs in-game. Literally every other character in the game has been made available in paid packs upon release before becoming free 2 weeks later. So in essence, what they did was they held a poll for players to decide which waifu would be introduced into the game next. After the character won, they decided, you know what? In every other instance, pretty much in the entire history of our game, we have released the character as a paid exclusive initially, and after a set period of time, typically 2 weeks, we allow for players to purchase it with gems in game. That way, the first few weeks, people can spend the money that they want to obtain the character early, and if people can't afford it, then they can unlock it with the gems weeks later after everyone else has already paid for it. This time, however, they're like, you know what? We actually want more money out of our players, so we're going to make this available for the foreseeable future, and we're going to allow people to continue paying for it so we can make more from them instead of sticking to what we have typically done again over the course of the entire history of the game's existence. That is very scummy. That is incredibly shady. I am very disappointed that I covered this game just 10 days ago so positively, because while the game is a lot of fun and the game is actually a pretty good game overall, I would never support a studio that abuses and takes advantage of their players like this. Now, this is not set in stone. You guys have the ability to voice your discontent on social media, on Reddit, on Discord, and the studio, Gremory Games. You guys have the ability here to remedy the situation, to win back the goodwill of your community, and to show the players that you still genuinely actively actually care about them. Otherwise, this is a massive rip for Action Taimanin. Admittedly, it probably already is a rip, given you've lost a lot of goodwill from your community already. Now, if Action Taimanin isn't your thing, no problem. I got 2 videos on screen right now that are definitely going to be of interest to you. One is featuring every gacha game coming this month, in the month of October, so make sure you check that out and make sure you don't miss out on any of these games. And 2 is featuring what I believe are going to be the best upcoming anime inspired gacha games over the course of the next year, which again, you need to be aware of.